I have a spare rechargeable battery from my last R.A.T 9 project. I have a 3D printer, actually two. I know 3D modeling, barely. It's time for making a R.A.T 9 power cell and a new video. My name is Edward and I tinker with things. Hello again. I won't bother you too much with how I modeled these parts. I just did. And I use Fusion 360, which by the way, it's free for students, which I'm not, and for startups, kind of which I am. Bottom and top model parts of the power cell were presented here. It's time to put the show on the road. Start the engines. Wait for them to warm up. And start. Oh, and before you start commenting, but Edward, your plan is useless for me, I don't have a 3D printer. I must remind you that we are not anymore in the Dark Ages, when the only 3D printer was at the King's Court. Wait, is something wrong with what I said? Anyway, if you ask around, you'll be surprised how many of your friends or colleagues have a 3D printer or know someone who has one. And still, if you're living on the top of a mountain or a desert, you still have internet, right? Otherwise, you can't be watching this video. Good news for you! There are a lot of online services that are printing stuff for you. You just send the model file to them, pay for the service, and they'll print and deliver it to you. As simple as that. And it shouldn't be expensive either. I can tell you how much could it cost because I never use such services. I have a 3D printer. But as a reference, the plastic I use for creating those two pieces of the power cell case, 6 grams of PLA plastic, costed me about 1 cent. In the meantime, the prints are ready. and they fit together perfectly. Because 3D printing is kind of precise, but not as precise as many would believe, I made the power cell a little bit bigger so I can take material from it in case it doesn't fit. So I must test fit the case in the mouse and in the charger to see how much material I have to eventually sand. In the mouse, the case fits if it's pressed a little. I don't know if this is my case or a general one, but the power cell socket from the mouse seems to be a little bit larger than the one from the charger, so the case doesn't fit, not even pressed in the charger. That means it's time for sanding. I'm sanding all the surfaces. And testing from time to time if it fits or not. And repeat the procedure until it fits. There shouldn't be too much pressure to get the battery in the slot, but it mustn't be too loose either. So we have a power cell case that fits in the slots as we want. Now to create the power cell contacts. For those I cut a peanut can, after testing that it can be soldered. So I cut a small sheet of tin of it so I can easily work on it further. As said, 3D printing is not such a precise science. It's better to measure the end result in order to get the right dimensions. I'm now trying to find out which the width of the contact should be by measuring the width of the holes from the bottom part of the case. They should be around 2 mm. I'm marking that on the tin sheet and cutting on the marking using a pair of sheet metal scissors. Word of advice here. The tin sheet is very sharp. The scissors can cut sheets of metal, so imagine what it can do to a finger. Be careful with those. The thin metal sheet from which the 3 contacts will be made is available. It's time to check if it fits through the holes of the bottom part of the case. It fits if it is pressed, so let's make those holes a little bit bigger. This is the equivalent of the previous sanding operation, but for those holes. The holes are large enough, let's actually create the metal contacts. What you see here is actually my very first try to create those contacts. Not edited, so you're going to see some degree of failure. I'm measuring the distance between the 2 holes that will host a contact. It's about 5 millimeters. Now, instead of visibly marking this length on the little thin sheet, I'm trying to eyeball the measure. And it's a failure, of course. And back to the drawing board. But this time, lesson learned. I'm marking it with something visible. Also, please note the use of calipers as pliers. It actually worked very good. This time, the tiny sheet of tin, contact wannabe, fits perfectly. So let's cut the extra length and test fit it again, just in case. It fits perfectly. Let's make another two like it. In my case, I had no choice. The paint from the peanut can was on the surface where the wires must be soldered. So I had to sand the surface for the 3 contacts. But I still recommend you to do that even if you don't have paint there. Sanding a surface before soldering, it's always good. Okay, it's time to fix the contacts in place, so I'm inserting them one by one. Just make sure that they are inserted in the right orientation. The long end near the wall and the short end to the interior of the case. It looks perfect, almost like the original one. I'm now bending the short ends of the contacts, assuring those in place. I make a final test fit before soldering the rechargeable battery in there. It fits perfectly in the charger. Also fits perfectly in the mouse. And now the case is ready to receive the rechargeable battery. How this can be done? Please see my previous video on how to replace the battery in the original power cell case. This is how the end result looks like in the interior. Pretty nice. And let's test if the power cell is charging. And it does. And if the mouse is accepting the new transplanted organ. And it seems quite healthy and happy. Now you can have as many R.A.T. 9 power cells as you wish. Even if contacts making and mounting was kind of one-shot thing, the modeling of the current case was not. There were many iterations, as you can see. However, you will find the link for the most recent version of the 3D model file in the description. You can download it and use it for free. Enjoy and thanks for watching.